Special thanks to Patreon supporter Derek Frost Westbrook for making this video possible. Hello ladies and gentlemen, Scared12 here bringing you another Minecraft Modern Warfare aircraft tutorial. In this tutorial we go ahead and build the Shaxx Z-11W. The Shaxx Z-11 is a light utility helicopter developed by the Shaxx Aircraft Industries Corporation. According to the Shaxx Aircraft Industries Corporation website, it is claimed to be the first indigenously designed helicopter in China. However, it is largely based on the Eurocopter AS350 Mercurio. So yeah, a pretty interesting little helicopter here. It's a very small one, to say the very least, and basically designed for simple duties such as scouting or simple troop transport, and also a little bit of anti tank capabilities with some of its optional equipment of missiles or stuff like that. So it's an interesting little helicopter and should make a cool addition to your Chinese aircraft lineup. We've been building a little bit of Chinese stuff lately in our aircraft section, so it's nice to kind of see some expansion on a really big faction in the world. So good to see them get some more builds built into their world. Now this here is the Z-11W, which is one of the more modernized versions. It's not the peak modernized version, but it is one of them. So overall, cool helicopter, and again should make a cool addition to your worlds. Before we go and jump in and take a look at this build though, I do want to go ahead and give a special thanks to Patreon supporter Derek Frost Westbrook for making this tutorial possible. If you guys are interested in supporting the channel more than you already do, feel free to check out my Patreon page. Link is always in my video descriptions, where you can go and pledge a small amount to the channel every month, and in doing so earn a view request to your choosing per month you're a patron. It really helps support the work I do on my channel, is really greatly appreciated, so definitely feel free to check that out. Again, link is always in my video descriptions. With that though, let's go ahead and dive in here to take a look at the Z-11W. So getting started with the front here, we have the cockpit of the aircraft. Again, nothing really too fancy for it, just a standard kind of cockpit. As you can see, it's a pretty small helicopter compared to other helicopters that you've done. We have the side door here with the, obviously the little window there, so it does have the side doors that are able to open up and allow, troops to enter and exit the helicopter. It's a very small helicopter, so you're not looking at carrying too much in terms of extra crew. We do have on this version some tow launchers, so these would be some rocket basically tubes on the side here, and then we have kind of some external fuel pumps or fuel tanks on the sides as well, giving it a little bit more range and all that. Down in this section here, it's got like a little camera or like a little light located down here, so kind of interesting where it's placed, but it's kind of in the back here. We have obviously all the details here. As we approach the shaping, we have obviously the rotors of the helicopter, a tri-bladed helicopter, the exhaust, and we flow back. We have a little Chinese logo they put on their aircraft, and we have the horizontal stabilizers, the vertical, and the prop for it. So overall, it's a really simple helicopter. Should be a pretty easy and straightforward build, and will make a awesome addition to any of your worlds. Nice thing about it is you get a landed in-flight version out of it, since it does sit pretty flat when it is landed, so that is kind of a cool little extra benefit. Anyways though, let's go ahead and move into the tutorial by beginning with our first layer. Alright guys, so moved into our first layer here, we are going to be going ahead and start with layer 1 of the build. Now before we go ahead and get started into this layer, I do want to go ahead and mention a few quick things. If you're completely new to my aircraft tutorials, the way I like to structure these tutorials, I like to do half on camera, half off. What this means is we're going to be building the entire centerline of the helicopter on camera, and then the right side. It'll be up to you guys to take the right side and copy it over to the left side. There will be a few parts of this build that are asymmetrical, but we will talk about those a little bit more in detail once we get to those points. However, with that all covered, let's go ahead and jump into this build. So, two quick things also to kind of add on to what I said earlier. The structure of how you build this is going to kind of depend on how you want this positioned. If you want this landed, you're more than welcome to also to create a landed version of this helicopter. You'll just have to do something a little bit different, and if you want this in flight, obviously the same thing will apply. Now the first thing we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to place down a dark prismarine top slab. So something like this. And off the dark prismarine top slab, we're going to place down an item frame, and then we're going to go ahead and place down a music disc in the item frame like so. And it's going to be the standard music disc like that, so it's just black like that facing forward. And then we're going to place down a zombie head here on the back of that slab. Now after we have that done, we're going to go ahead and then skip a space of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 blocks, and we're going to go ahead and then place down 2 end rods like this going back. And that is all you're going to really do for the centerline. It's really simple, pretty easy centerline to go ahead and get us started here for the build. After we have that done, If you are a Java player, we're going to go ahead and grab a block. We're going to place on the side here of this prismarine slab. We're going to place down a lever. Now we're going to use the command /give at p Minecraft :debug _stick. So this command right here, press enter will give you the stick. You're going to go ahead and left click the lever until you get selected facing. You're going to rotate this around until it comes off the slab. Now once you have that done there, an alternative to this, if you don't have access to the debug stick, so if you're on Bedrock or Pocket Edition, you can go ahead and very simply just place down a zombie head in place of the lever there instead as an alternative. Now coming off the lever or the zombie head, we're going to go ahead and then place down a chain. This chain is going to be sideways like so. Going forward from that, we're going to place down a dark oak trapdoor, a nether brick fence post, a dark oak trapdoor, a nether brick fence post, a dark oak trapdoor, and then we're going to go ahead and place down a wither skeleton skull off the trapdoor like this facing forward. Now this kind of depends on what you want to do. If you have the aircraft landed, I would recommend going ahead and placing down black concrete underneath the nether brick fence post, and that will be in the ground level. If you are not building this landed, so you're building this in flight, I would recommend putting a row of 5 of dark oak trapdoors underneath these trapdoors and these nether brick fence posts all the way across the bottom there, just to kind of go ahead and fill in the gaps and make that completely enclosed. Now with that done, we're going to go ahead and then place down a dark prismarine top slab, and then 1, 2 back from it. We're going to go ahead and then place down a zombie head on both sides of that dark prismarine slabs, and then grabbing our birchwood fence gates, we're going to place down a fence gate here next to this slab. We're going to open it toward the back, fence gate here, open it toward the back, fence gate here, open it toward the back, all of birchwood. And then on the outside of the fence posts, or the fence gates, we're just going to go ahead and place down a row of birchwood signs across just like that to go ahead and kind of create our missiles that we have loaded out on the side of the aircraft. With that all done though, that is going to complete everything we have for layer 1. Bit of a funky layer there, but that right there is what it should look like from a top-down view. And once we have that all complete and added on, that's going to wrap up everything we have for layer 1, and we'll move on to layer number 2. Moving into our next layer here, we have layer number 2. For layer 2, to go ahead and get started with for our center line, we're going to go ahead and place down a dark prismarine top slab above this top slab we placed in the previous layer. Now going forward from it, we're going to place down an upside down piston. If you are not on Java and don't have access to a debug stick to modify the properties of the piston, we'll be going ahead and using a dark prismarine upside down stair. So it'd be like this here instead as an alternative there to the piston. Going forward from that piston, we're going to place down a row of green terracotta. This here is going to be a row of 7, and this is going to be followed with another piston or another upside down deep or dark prismarine upside down stair. That'll be facing this way like so. And then a dark prismarine top slab. Come off the sides of the piston or the stair, we're going to place down a dark prismarine top slab, a nether brick upside down stair, and then a dark prismarine upside down stair after that. We're going to go then take our green terracotta, and we're going to go ahead and build 1, 2, 3 green terracotta blocks. And then we're going to place down a dark prismarine upside down stair, and then a dark prismarine top slab like so. So pretty straightforward stuff there, and that's going to basically make your sides like so. On both sides of the piston here, we're going to place down a zombie head, and then a dark oak fence post, just like that, to go ahead and complete your fuselage there for the forward section. Now, going back from this dark prismarine slab, we're going to go ahead and then place down a row of 3 of dark oak trapdoors. Note that these trapdoors are on the top portion and not on the bottom like that. You want them on the top there. Then we're going to place down a mossy cobblestone wall, a dark oak trapdoor, and then we're going to place down a row of 3 chains going back from the dark oak trapdoor. So again, that's 3. Then a green stained glass pane, and then a mossy stone brick wall, or a mossy cobblestone wall. Then underneath here, if you are on Java, we can go ahead and also add in a lever. We're going to go ahead and do your same technique as before. With our debug stick, except we're going to go ahead and do selected face. We're going to go ahead and change that from wall to ceiling. And then we can go ahead and then rotate it like we did before to connect up to that end rod. So it'll look something like that there to kind of create that connection. Unfortunately, I don't have any good substitutions for that for different versions, and unfortunately you'll probably just have to have your end rods there alone if you are not on Java. Now once we get that done, going up to this section here above these nether brick fence posts, you can either place down a wither skeleton skull come off the slab and the mossy cobblestone, or the green terracotta block. However, for us, we're going to go ahead and place down levers. So we're going to place down a lever here. We're going to flick this and connect this down like so for Java. And we're going to go ahead and use, again, the same technique we've been doing. A lever like so. We'll go ahead and flick that down like so. And then we're going to go ahead and change the facing of it so it comes off the side of that slab. So again, you can go ahead and either use the wither skeleton skulls or the levers. After that's done, we're going to go ahead and then place down a dark oak fence gate here, which will be opened up toward this stair. Then coming off of that, we're going to place down an upside down dark prismarine stair, and then a second upside down stair coming off of it, like so. And then we're going to place down an item frame on the side of the stair, and in that item frame, we're going to go ahead and place down a black bed, which we're going to go ahead and rotate sideways, and then a dark oak wood sign if you're on Java. Again, only on Java you're able to place down item frames and signs in the same block space. If that's the case, then you can go ahead and place down your item frame and your sign together. If you're not on Java, I'd recommend just placing down the item frame and disregarding the sign. With that all done, also on the front here, we do want to go ahead and grab a lever, and on the bottom of this green terracotta block, so this one right here, we're going to place down a lever that's going to be flicked forward like so. And after we have that done there, that's going to pretty much do it for this layer. You're going to go ahead and want to take what you did on the right side and flip it over to the left side, and this is what you should have for the top-down view with this layer all complete. Once you have that all complete, there will be one thing we're going to go ahead and add onto the right side only. What we're going to do is we're going to be going ahead and going to this dark oak wood fence post. We're going to go ahead and take our chains, and we're going to go back 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 chains back. So it's going to be 5 along the side here, and basically that is it. So you're going to go ahead and only do it on the right side and not the left side. Again, this is what it should look like from the top down view. And with that all complete, we'll be going ahead and moving on to our next layer, which will be layer number 3. Moving on to our next layer, we have layer 3. For layer 3 to get started with here, we're going to place down a dark prismarine slab on top of this top slab here in the front. Behind this, we're going to place down a piston. If you are on, or an alternative to the piston can also be the use of the end portal frame, so you can use that instead of the piston. We're going to go ahead and place down 2 black stained glass blocks, then a black concrete block, and then we're going to take our green terracotta, fill in a row down the center here for a total of 16 blocks, and then a dark prismarine top slab on the very end there. After we have that all done there, we want to go ahead and then go back up to the front, and we're going to go ahead and place down a dark prismarine slab here to the side of this piston, and we're going to go ahead and then place down 2 black stained glass blocks along the side there. We're going to go ahead and also take dark oak wood buttons, and we're going to place them on the side of those 2 slabs, as well as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 green terracotta, then 2 mossy cobblestone walls, a green stained glass pane, red stained glass pane, green stained glass pane, and a red stained glass pane. On this green stained glass pane, we're going to place down an item frame, and in that item frame, we're just going to go ahead and kind of leave it as is. And you can go ahead and place down a yellow concrete block, like so, in the center, like that, to go ahead and make your little Chinese symbol there on the side. And realistically, it'd probably be better even if we just place down red stained glass all the way across there, so we'll just do a row of 3 of red stained glass, and probably make that work a little bit better. So again, that's basically what we're going to do there on both sides for the little Chinese Air Force symbol on the side of the aircraft. We're going to go ahead and place down a dark oak wood trapdoor, and then we want to go ahead and place down a row of 3 of trapdoors out to the side for the horizontal stabilizers, as well as an air trapdoor right here, and we're going to go ahead and make sure we close that. After that is all done, that is going to pretty much wrap it up for our fuselage here for this layer. And then moving on to our pylons, we're going to place down a dark prismarine slab here, then a dark oak wood fence gate that's going to be opened up toward the slab, and then a lever like this on top of this upside down stair. And once you have that all complete, that is going to pretty much wrap up what we have here for this layer. At this point in time, I'd recommend going ahead and taking what we did on the right side and flipping it over to the left side to go ahead and create this design from up above. And that is going to sum up layer 3. There is going to be one thing we're going to go ahead and add on for this layer, and that is going to be the rear tail rotor. And for this, it's really simple. It's going to be only on the right side of the aircraft. We're going to go ahead and go right after the trapdoor here. We're going to place down an end rod, a wither skeleton skull, and then a birchwood fence post on the top and bottom of that skull. So really simple. That's your tail rotor, and that's going to be on the right side and the right side only. With that all done though, that is going to wrap up everything we have there for layer number 3. Again, here's an aerial overview, what it should look like from the top down view. And with that, we'll be going ahead and moving into our next layer, which will be layer number 4. Moving into our next layer, we have layer number 4. For layer 4 to get started with here, we're going to place down a black stained glass pane on top of this black stained glass block. We're going to then place down a black stained glass block behind the pane, and then a black concrete block. After the black concrete block, we're going to place down a row of 5 of green terracotta, then another piston. Again, this can be substituted out for a end portal frame block instead. We're going to go then place down a row 3 of dark prismarine slabs, a row of 3 of daylight detectors, and then a row of 2 of dark oak wood trapdoors. We're going to go then place down a green stained glass pane, a mossy cobblestone wall, and a dark oak wood trapdoor on the slab that's going to open up to the mossy cobblestone wall like that to go ahead and start to create our vertical stabilizer. We're also going to place down a green carpet on top of these 3 dark oak wood trapdoors there to the side. Now, after that is all done, going back up to the front, we're going to place down a black stainless pane here to the side, another brick wall, and then 2 green terracotta blocks. We're going to go ahead and then place down 2 dark prismarine stairs, a dark prismarine slab, and then a zombie head on top of this mossy cobblestone wall at a slight angle like so. We'll also take a dark oak wood sign, and we're going to place it on both sides here of the piston, just like that, or your end portal frame, whichever you chose to place. And after that is all done, we then also want to go ahead and do our little technique here. Now you can go ahead and substitute this out for a chain if you want to. So you can either place down a chain here, or for me on Java, I'm going to go ahead and do the technique here with our end portal frame. So using our lever, we're going to go ahead and change the face to floor, and then we're going to go ahead and then rotate this like so to go ahead and create this design here. And you can go ahead and basically use that for both sides, and again the chain is a good substitution for that section. Anyways though, the very last thing for this layer here is going to be the banners, and the banners are really simple. I'm not going to go ahead and show you guys how to make them in a loom. I can go ahead and explain them. They're only 2 steps. They're really easy, but you're going to have 2 black banners and 4 green die. You're going to go ahead and split each banner in half with green on the bottom and the black on top. Then you just want to go ahead and do for one banner a green vertical line on the left side and a green vertical line on the right side. And that's it. It's really simple, and it creates this banner design like this. And this is your windows here for the door of the helicopter. So again, really straightforward stuff. Pretty simplistic in terms of design and all that. But that is going to conclude everything we have there for layer 4, and we will now move on to layer 5. Alright guys, moving into our next layer, we have layer number 5. For layer 5 to start with, we're going to go ahead and go to this section here. We're going to go ahead and place down a block that's kind of in front of the glass pane, and we're going to use our technique for Java. We're going to place down a lever here, and then we're going to take our debug stick, left click this so we get selected face wall, or right click this, set it to floor, and we want to go ahead and then make sure that the lever is facing forward like so. An alternative here to this can either be a dark oak wood fence post, and end rod. One of those 2 would work pretty good as an alternative, but the lever here again going to be the best block to use in that case. Behind that, we're going to place down a daylight detector, then a dark prismarine slab, a mossy cobblestone wall, and a black concrete block behind the mossy cobblestone wall. We'll then place down 1, 2, and 3 green terracotta blocks back. After that's done, we're going to go ahead and then place down a dark oak wood trapdoor to the side here of the mossy cobblestone wall, a dark oak wood trapdoor on the side of the black concrete, and also this first green terracotta block. What we're going to do next here is for this space here, we're going to go ahead and grab ourselves our item frame again. We're going to place down an item frame and a yellow concrete block in the item frame, like so, and that'll be done on both sides there, and then another dark oak wood trapdoor here after that item frame. We then want to place down a polished andesite slab, and then to the sides of the slab, we're going to place down a birchwood sign, and then a skeleton skull going back from the slab like so. So pretty simple there to create the exhaust. After that, going back to the tail here of the aircraft, we're going to go ahead and place down a mossy cobblestone wall on top of this one, and then a green stained glass pane right behind the mossy cobblestone wall like that. And once you have that all complete there, that's going to wrap up everything we have for layer number 5 of the build. Pretty straightforward and simple stuff. At this point in time, if you are on Java and you did place down the pistons, we'll take our debug stick and we're going to go and go to the pistons. We're going to left click these till we get selected extended false prompt pop up on our screen. We're going to right click these and get rid of the wood portion for all of our pistons. And basically you'll create some really cool designs here. It kind of helps with the shaping of the aircraft and all that stuff, as you can see. So really nice technique there, and that with that all complete, that's going to wrap up everything for layer 5, and with that we'll be going ahead and moving on to layer number 6. So we'll actually just be going ahead and moving into our final layers, which will be layers 6 and 7. So for these layers to go ahead and get started with, we're going to go ahead and begin with by placing down a green carpet on top of this wall. We'll then place down a dark prismarine slab here, and then after the dark prismarine, we're going to go ahead and then grab a stone brick wall, and we're going to place down a stone brick wall. We're going to place down our dark prismarine slab, and then a zombie head on top of the screen terracotta block, just like that. And then after we have that done, we're going to go ahead and then go to the back of the aircraft here. We're going to place down a green stained glass pane on top of this wall here, a mossy cobblestone wall here, and then a flower pot on top of that mossy cobblestone wall, like that. And that right there is going to complete layers 6 through 7, and with that, that's going to complete our kind of main fuselage here of the aircraft. At this point in time, the last part of this tutorial will be just covering how to do the rotors, so we'll be going ahead and now moving on to those. Alright guys, so when it comes to our rotors, it's pretty straightforward and simple to do. We're going to start off by going ahead and placing down an anvil that's going to go on top of this mossy cobblestone wall, like so. Now we're going to go ahead and then place down a a dark oak wood trapdoor on top of that anvil, and then a dark oak wood fence gate coming off the right side here of the anvil. Now, just to kind of side note, you can go ahead and have these rotors rotated however direction you want. Our direction here is going to be just like this, so that is what we're going to be going ahead and using for this build. But again, you can kind of have this come off any direction and it will still work. Anyways, though, for our first blade here, we're going to go ahead and grab our polished andesite, and coming off this dark oak wood trapdoor, we're just going to place down a straight line of 9 top slabs. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Then after you have that done, we're going to place down a fence gate going back from this anvil here, and then we're going to place down a polished andesite top slab, and then we're going to go ahead and kind of go over to the left side, and then we're going to go ahead and go back one, polished andesite top slab, and then a second one after it. We're going to repeat this same row a total of 3 more times. So 1, 2, and 3. So there should be a total of 10 blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then for our next one, our diagonal one, we're going to go ahead and go off this anvil with a fence gate like this. We're going to place down a polished andesite top slab at an angle, so coming off the fence gate at an angle like this, and we're going to go ahead and basically take this and go ahead and go a total of 8 top slabs. So we have 6 so far, 7 and 8. So it's going to be 8 kind of going out at an angle there like so. And that's pretty much that. Now, there are some things that we can also do to kind of spice this up. This is going to be, again, mainly for my Java players. And what we're going to do here is we're going to be using levers and our blocks here to kind of create some cool designs here for this. And we're going to place down 2 basically blocks like this. We're going to place down 2 levers here on the sides. This space right here, we're going to go ahead and, again, place down 2 blocks, 2 levers. And on this side here, again, coming off the wall, to the side here, leave that space of 1. We're going to place down 2 levers here. Now what we're going to do here is we're going to go ahead and take our debug stick for these ones right here. We're going to go ahead and left click this bottom lever, and we're going to go and do selected facing. We're going to go ahead and right click this and rotate this so that it is facing toward this. So the back is kind of facing toward the rear of the aircraft. We're going to do the same thing for this one up on top here, and then we're going to go and then make sure that we have it flick downwards like so. So that's going to be the first one. Then our next one over here is going to be basically this. We're going to go and rotate this lever until we get it to come off the wall. And the same thing will be done with the top one coming off the anvil. And then the top one, we're going to go and make sure we manually flick downwards like so. And then for these ones right here, we're going to go ahead and then left click this lever here. We're going to go and rotate this until it comes off the dark prismarine slab. And we're going to then rotate this lever here and have that come off the fence gate. We'll then left click this again until we get selected powered false. We'll right click that and have that go down. And then we can delete these placeholder blocks to the sides like so. And you create this really cool design here for the props. Looks really nice, has that extra detail to them, little support and stuff like that. Again, that's going to be mainly only a Java feature. Unfortunately, there isn't any really good alternatives to do this. I mean, you can probably do this with like chains or something like that if you wanted to, but just on Java here, it's going to look much better being able to use this technique here. But just a nice way to kind of spice that up there for my Java players. And with that all done, that's going to complete the rotors. And with that, my tutorial here for the Z-11W light utility helicopter. Hope you guys do enjoy this build. Another nice addition to our Chinese aircraft line and are able to put it to good use. If you do use this build, I do have to say you guys give me proper credit for it. This can be a thing from the side of the build, tweet to my channel or this video if this does appear on any social media sites or any videos or anything like that. Just be sure to give me proper credit for the build, and as long as you guys do, you're free for projects you guys are working on. Overall, enjoy the build, have fun with it, and all that fun stuff. Again, a big special thanks to Patreon supporter Derek Frost Westbrook for making this tutorial possible. And as always, feel free to check out my Patreon page. Link is always in my video descriptions. With that though, thank you guys again so much for watching. And as always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. This has been Gear 204, and I'll see you guys next time.